2 weeks have passed since a deadly earthquake hit eastern Afghanistan. The aftershocks have disappeared. The next step is reconstruction. The Taliban regime is hoping that the global community will come to their help, but aid agencies warn off insufficient funds. Countries will have to dig deep to rebuild Afghanistan's rugged east. Experts say building back is not enough. Things must be built back better in Afghanistan.
Hazrat Khan gingerly walks to where he once lived, to the place he once called home. After last month's earthquake, this is all that remains, a pile of bricks and a few tragic memories.
Before this incident, we had a happy life. We had our family with us. But now our house is destroyed. My wife is not with me. My child is not alive anymore. He died.
Khan lost everything in the earthquake. 6 of his relatives were killed, including his wife and son. He still remembers that horrible night. Like most Afghan families, Khan shares a piece of land with his brother. Both families live under the same roof. It was once a bustling household of 24 members. Today, it is the scene of a tragedy.
We have lost whatever we had in our house. We lost our family members. We lost every single household item we had. And what is left is not usable. We can't live in our house. It's very scary.
But Hazrat Khan isn't alone. The earthquake has destroyed dozens of families. At last count, more than 1,150 people had died. Rescue operations continued for 2 weeks. But now the focus is reconstruction, and it promises to be a daunting task. Here in the Khost province, around 1,500 houses were badly damaged. The terrain makes reconstruction difficult. Rough mountains, rugged plains, and unforgiving heat. Right now, the locals are living in tents, but when winter comes, that won't be an option.
We can live in the tent, but as soon as winter begins and it's very cold, you can see what has happened to our house and what we're living with. We request the international community to help us get out of this situation.
Most Afghans have the same plea. Aid agencies may have stepped in with emergency supplies, but what about long-term solutions? Put together, 3,000 buildings were destroyed in the earthquake. The Taliban does not have the money to rebuild them. So the expectation is aid agencies will do it.
We demand and expect the world and the government to provide us with essentials which are a basic requirement of human life. We earnestly ask them to support us as soon as possible.
All eyes are on the United Nations. They have the network, the funds, and the access to help the people of Afghanistan. Last week, the country's top UN official met some of the survivors in Akhtarjan. He praised the local population for their resolve.
What a sign of resilience, what a sign of courage, what a sign of resolve in face of this adversity. I would say endless adversity, endless difficulty, endless tragedy, and yet these people are so gracious, so strong, and they're willing to overcome.
But resolve does not fill your stomach. Neither does it put a roof over your head. What Afghanistan needs is money, and they need it fast. Because the situation is deteriorating every day. More than 72% of the population lives below the poverty line. They earn less than $2 per day. Almost 95% of the population is not getting enough to eat. 1 million children under 5 face malnutrition, and 92% of the households are submerged in debt. Simply put, it is one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. Rebuilding from it requires smart policies. Some aid agencies are talking about using this opportunity to build back better.
This will be a testing ground of how we are moving forward with this women economic empowerment. We are determined. There is no way around that. And we believe, in fact, from the early signs from the ground, that it will be women who are actually today keeping those local communities alive.
Will the Taliban regime be receptive to such measures? Will they permit reforms in the guise of reconstruction? These questions hold the key to Afghanistan's future. South Asia Bureau, WION World is One.